can apply for a reverse mortgage? Because I've heard, originally it was only like you got to be 62 years old to be able to apply. But my understanding is there's some loan products that work even for people, as young as 55 years old?
In some states, it's 55, but in majority of states, it's 60 and on up.
Okay, 60 and up. Okay, okay. And your traditional FHA, your HECM product, that's 162, right?
Correct. Yeah,
okay.
62.
62. So sounds like there's been a lot of there's new loan programs out there, that are outside of the traditional FHA. Yeah, more options.
Absolutely, especially with our proprietary products as well. You can go up to $4 million, which is great on a reverse mortgage. $4 million. That's amazing. So with no mortgage payments at all.
Got it. So some people may be listening to this going, hey, I don't want to make a mortgage payment. Maybe a reverse mortgage is right for me. But one of the biggest limiting factors is you do have to have equity in the home, correct? Yeah. So can you is there a guideline you typically look at? Like at what loan to value, kind of where does someone need to be in their current mortgage balance versus the home's value in order to be a good candidate for a reverse mortgage?
So what we look at is between 40 to 60%.
Okay.
Of equity in the home to really kind of do a reverse mortgage because, as a reminder, you're not making a mortgage payment, so that balance increases over time.
Right.
So it's got to cover that. So that's one of the safeguards on this loans is it's a non-recourse feature. So you're always going to be protected no matter what. If the value of the home is less than the balance of the loan, so it exceeds the property value, you never pay that difference.
So as an example, let's say someone took out this loan when they're 62 years old, right? Mm-hmm. As soon as they're eligible for the loan, let's say with a standard HECM, but let's say they live to be 110. And let's say for some reason in the meantime, home values didn't go up, they went down. Yeah. And so if you live to be, 110 years old and, that thing's you're not having a mortgage payment for that whole time. And then if something crazy happened and home values went down during that time, you could see where in a unique circumstance, someone technically could owe more on the house than it's worth. But what you're saying is at that point, when you sell that home, there is no recourse. You don't owe that negative balance. It just basically, you just walk away from it at that point.
Basically, yeah, because that mortgage insurance covers it.
Or your heirs walk away from it, right? And I think that's one of the things, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of times we have, the kids of, you have the parents looking to maybe do a reverse mortgage and the kids going, well, hold on a second. This is just going to, I was promised, that I would inherit this house at some point, and so the fear is that, mom and dad are going to be stripped of all their equity. We're going to lose this house. It's no longer going to be an asset for our family. And the reality is that is possible, right? Yeah. I mean, if they live long enough and, they've deferred these mortgage payments essentially and use the equity to pay them, it could erode the majority, if not all, of the equity of that home. But the trade-off was your parents got to live debt-free with no mortgage payment for the remainder of their years.
That's the whole goal.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of these loans.
Yeah.
To age in place.
But if someone does have, let's say they're at 50% loan to value, so they have an $800,000 house, they owe $400,000 on it. They do the a little bit of additional line of credit, but let's say they don't draw on the line of credit, it's just there as a cushion, as a reserve. So they take out $400,000. You'd be able to show them, look, if you're 62 now and you live to be 85, this is where you would be. The house would keep going up in value. Chances are there's still some equity left in that home and their heirs could list and sell that home like you traditionally would. The balance would get paid off and any equity would still go to the heirs. Or if they inherited the home, they could just refinance it at that time to pay off whatever that existing debt was, correct?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.